For example, He will not let water be available all the time for these trees. That sometimes He will irritate the land, and sometimes He will keep the water away. Even though the water is a blessing, the water is the secret of life. The water will help the plants grow bigger and faster. And He said, but the fact is that that farmer will make sure that this idea of letting the water available has to be managed and controlled. Why? He said, because this is what is eventually beneficial for these trees. And then He mentioned something which is what we want from this illustration. And He said, if these trees or these plants have a faculty of reasoning, they would complain and say, why are you keeping water away from us? Why are you inflicting pain on us? But we know that this is being done for their own benefit. That is why we believe that everything Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does is for a purpose for our own benefit. Sometimes Allah, as mentioned in a hadith, Allah wants you to be in a specific level in Jannah, and you will never reach that level until you go through that kind of trimming that we're talking about. That's why in the Quran, we do not see a contradiction between mercy and between divine mercy and going through difficulties. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يقول إن يردن الرحمن بضر. If the most merciful wants to inflict pain on me. It didn't say if the Almighty inflicts pain on me. It used this attribute or this quality of mercy. And this expression in the Quran indicates that Allah's decrees and Allah's actions are all run and managed and serve the idea of mercy. And mercy is the defining quality that explains everything in this universe. But again, we have to approach this from Iman perspective. Because our minds can never comprehend the purpose behind everything Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decrees. So we have our own limitations. And that is why we're saying one of the logical consequences is to surrender to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, tomorrow we'll add more illustrations to this because I do not want to keep it longer. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam wa jazakum Allah khairan ajma'in.